Forgiveness is our favorite F word. Lesson 333. Forgiveness ends the dream of conflict here. Like mic drop. The dream of conflict ends with forgiveness. Conflict must be resolved. It must be resolved. It cannot be evaded. It cannot be set aside, denied, disguised, seen somewhere else, called by another name, or hidden by deceit of any kind, if it would be escaped. It must be seen exactly as it is, where it is thought to be, in the reality which has been given it, and with the purpose that the mind accorded it. For only then are its defenses lifted, and the truth can shine upon it as it disappears. Disappears. I enjoyed that word so much, I may have given it an extra syllable. All right, so conflict must be resolved, and it can't be brushed under the rug. It can't be ignored. It can't be denied. It can't be disguised. We got to look at it. We got to see it exactly as it is. We got to see it where it is thought to be in the reality which has been given, which the purpose of the mind that accorded it. Like, you have to look at it. I'm staring at the conflict. That's it's taking me a minute. For only then are its defenses lifted, and the truth can shine upon it as it disappears. It must be resolved. Your issues must be resolved, and it's like any type of problem that you have in your mind. You know, the stuff that you go to therapy or should be going to therapy for. You can't pretend like you guys don't have a freaking problem. It's like in a relationship. You can't pretend like that's not a problem, because it's a fucking problem. And you got to look at it, and you got to see it for what it is. And that's the way you resolve it. So conflict must be resolved. And lesson 333 says, forgiveness ends the dream of conflict here. Father, forgiveness is the light you chose to shine away all conflict and all doubt, the light, and light the way for our return to you. So forgiveness is what it's all about. No light but this can end our evil dream. No light but this can save the world. For this alone will never fail in anything, being your gift to your beloved Son. So forgiveness never fails. It is the light that God chose to shine away all conflict and all doubt. And it will light our return home. And it will end the evil dream. And it will save the world. And it cannot fail. So, wow, that's that. That's an amazing return policy. That's an amazing guarantee. That's an amazing power you have, and that you could be using right now. So think about your favorite F word today, forgiveness. Forgiveness ends the dream of conflict here. Tina Jesus for lesson 333 was analogy heavy, talking about balloons and chains and barbed wire, camps of pain. Geez, be free is what it's all about. Forgiveness sets you free. So let's say you've tied a knot to an old story, an old memory, a person that hurt you. It's just a balloon at this point. Forgiveness undoes the knot of the balloon and sets the balloon free. So these dumb illusions, they're just these flighty balloons at this point, kind of getting in your way. Like if you ever try to drive a car when there's some party balloons in there, they're just obnoxious. Be free and let the balloons go. Be free and cut off the ball and chain that you are lugging around with this pain. Be free and clip the barbed wire and escape the evil dream. So forgiveness undoes the knot. Forgiveness cuts the ball and chain. Forgiveness clips the barbed wire. Cut the chain, snip the knot, whatever you have to do to let yourself rise up, just like a balloon. Rise up in frequency and be free. Rise up and express yourself freely and expand. You're the one who tied the knot to your pain and your memory and the person that hurt you. So be free. Let them go and be free today. So that's the takeaway from Tina Louise Spalding today, using the analogy of the balloon. It's so simple. It is so simple to undo the knot and let the balloon go. It's full of that light gas that just, there it goes it's gone before you have a chance to even jump up and get it. That's how powerful forgiveness is. It undoes the knot and sets the balloon free. These balloons, you can envision them as your stories. Let them go. As the memories, let them go. As the people that you are using as an excuse to hurt yourself again and again, let that go. Let them go. Let them go and be free. You're going to rise in frequency. You're going to expand. You're going to express yourself more freely. You're going to be more of who you truly are when you cut the ball and chain, when you escape the barbed wire prison, when you release the balloon and be free. These are simple visualizations to help you envision how easy forgiveness is, how easily forgiveness undoes the knot and sets the balloon free. Be light. Be lighthearted. Be light and rise up in your frequency. It takes a lot of big girlness to admit that I am the one who tied those knots. I like double knotted it. I like Boy Scout square knotted that balloon and held that painful memory to me. And at times you think that balloon is 1,000 pounds, but it's not. It's literally not. That's what makes it an illusion. You think that it hurts so bad and you cry at night while you're listening to sad songs. Just let it go. Let them go. Let it go. Like, honestly, it's disgusting at this point how we continue to torture ourselves. So we need to really take lesson 333 seriously and understand that forgiveness will end the evil dream, will end the dream of conflict. Everything that you've been suffering or that you think has been causing you to suffer, it can be released. Conflict must be resolved. I wish Tina Jesus would talk more about how we do need to look at it. It cannot be evaded. It cannot be set aside. So you see the balloon. You see this story that you tied to yourself. Don't deny it. Don't disguise it. Don't try to make it go back into the dark corners of your mind. Don't push it down inside of you. Don't try to suffocate it. Don't call it by another name. Don't deceive yourself. It is what it is. You tied it to yourself. See it for what it is if you want to escape it. You got to see it exactly as it is. I mean, you just have to look at it. Look the lion right in the face, right? Look your fear right in the face. Look your pain. Look at it. See your crazy, insane mind for what it is. It's insane. It's really hard sometimes to be like, are you telling me that I freaking did this? Yeah. Yep. For only then are its defenses lifted and the truth can shine upon it as it disappears. So if you're in denial that I could not have played a part in this, if you're in denial that you're the one who tied the knot and continues to hold so tightly onto this beloved balloon of pain, well, there's your work for the day. There is your work for the day. Release the balloon and be free. Pathwaysoflight.org. Welcome to the reading, A Course in Miracles Workbook Lesson 333, Insights. Forgiveness ends the dream of conflict here. Jesus makes it very clear in this lesson that this world is a dream of conflict. He also makes it very clear that this dream of conflict cannot be resolved except through forgiveness. Conflict's defenses hide the truth from our awareness. Conflict's defenses make it look like the ego's lies are the only truth. Forgiveness paves the way by which the deceit of the ego's false perceptions are revealed. Forgiveness provides an opening through which the Holy Spirit can reveal the truth. There is only one truth, and in that one truth, there can be no conflict. In heaven, where we really reside, there is no conflict. Our will and God's will are one. The ego is the opposite of God's will. The ego is the choice for separation from oneness. From the choice for separation came a world of conflict. This conflict is resolved through letting go of the mad illusions of separation. The Holy Spirit will lead us out of these mad delusions as we open our minds and are willing to receive a correction in our perception. This is what the Course calls forgiveness. Forgiveness ends the dream of conflict here. Sentence 2 in the lesson describes the many ways the ego attempts to deal with conflict. All of them are methods of avoidance rather than resolution. The ego does not really want to resolve the conflict because it is the idea of conflict being the wish for specialness. When conflict is undone, the ego is undone with it. So the ego will avoid the resolution of conflict at all costs out of self-preservation. It is no wonder this world is a world of conflict, being the making of the ego. The ego does not want us to recognize that inherent in specialness is conflict. And so it offers us many deceitful disguises, calling it by many names. In special relationships, it is called love or adoration or acceptance or respect. The ego gives hidden meaning to these terms. With the ego's meaning of love, there is always a hidden agenda. It says, I will know you love me if you ... which is followed by a long list of behaviors and to-dos, many unspoken, but if unmet, bring out our wrath. Can this be love? The Course tells us that love makes no demands because love is one and complete in itself. It has no needs, so making a demand is inconceivable to love. Love gives freely because it is limitless and eternal, and love's nature is to give of itself. Because love is one, love gives only to itself, for there is no other. But the ego's definition of love has endless conditions and demands. Conflict is inevitable because special love's demands conflict with each other. In one circumstance, a certain behavior is acceptable. In another, it is not. And so in this world, we wander about seeking for love, not realizing that we are seeking conflict. What we seek under the guidance of the ego will never satisfy because the ego seeks where real love cannot be found. The ego's substitute for love never brings peace because, although it might appear appealing on the surface, conflict lies hidden below, waiting for its chance to raise its fearsome head. The way out of this painful illusion is forgiveness. This forgiveness must come through recognition of the deceits the ego offers. Throughout the Course, again and again, the many forms the ego's deceits take are brought to our attention. It's not a pretty picture, but we have wandered in a world of illusion so long that we don't recognize the illusion for what it is, and so we must be taught. By the grace of God, we have a teacher in our mind who will help us see the illusions for what they are. This is why it is so important for us to remember that on our own, we do not know what anything means. As we practice bringing all our thoughts to the Holy Spirit and open our minds to His perception, we will learn to recognize all the hidden conflicts and let them go. We will let them go because the Holy Spirit will show us they are really nothing. There will be no sense of loss or sacrifice because they will cease to have value to us. Forgiveness ends the dream of conflict here. There was a paragraph in your comments that really caught my attention. You said, with the ego's meaning of love, there is always a hidden agenda. It says, I will know you love me if you ... which is followed by a long list of behaviors and to-dos, many unspoken, but if unmet, bring out our wrath. Lately, when I am with my daughter and her partner, I have several times made funny remarks about being ignored by them. I guess that by keeping it light and humorous, I was trying not to sound demanding. I didn't even consciously realize I was doing it until I read what you said. I didn't realize I was feeling so left out of their lives, but I guess I am, and that it matters to me. I have been making some rules for them to follow without coming right out with them. I wasn't telling my daughter, and I wasn't even telling myself, but I was certainly expecting them to be followed. I'm grateful to see this. Now I can take it to the Holy Spirit for healing. pathwaysoflight.org Oh, wow. That's actually really funny and timely for me because, like, if you have a growing up or grown up children and that, yeah, they start to live lives without you, you do feel left out. You do. So that's just another freaking thing we can take to the Holy Spirit for healing, for correction. But the funny thing is, we don't realize we're doing it, and then we do kind of realize we're doing it, and we're like, whoa, we're like expecting them to be a certain way. And that is the ego's love, which is really not love at all. It's demands, it's expectations, it's threats. It's all of that. So be very wary about your demands for love and the rules that you're setting for yourself and others. That's really actually setting up more of a demand for conflict, if anything else, because you're setting people up to disappoint you. And so then you have a belief somewhere that you need to bring to the Holy Spirit for healing. Absolutely. So I hope that it seemed like a party today with all these balloons we're letting go of. With all these stories we're going to let go of, this pain, we're going to look at these ugly balloons that we tied knots to, memories and people and stories and expectations. If a balloon don't work for you, then turn it up to the old ball and chain, right? I think I've heard several husbands refer to their wives as the old ball and chain. So it's like, something that's holding you back, just you lugging around. It's exhausting. Aren't you ready to cut the chain? Snip it off. Leave that heavy ball behind you. Release it and be free. If you feel like you're trapped, cut the barbed wire. There's a bunch of different ways you can envision this. But you need to realize that you tied the knot. You chained your ankle yourself. You literally went willing into the prison. The door's probably been open a long time and you just stay put. It is you. It is you. It is you. It is you who tied the knot. And you undo the knot with forgiveness. So I'm going to be envisioning balloons being freed all day long. Anytime an idea comes into my mind, a fearful idea, a judging idea, an idea that is a memory of something bad that happened, I'm going to see that little idea in that balloon. I'm going to look at it, and then I'm going to let it go and let the balloon do what balloons do and rise up, float away, be gone. I'm going to let them go and be free. It's time. It's really time to feel free, to express freely, to expand into more of ourselves, our true selves. So let yourself rise in frequency, let the balloons go, and be free. With lesson 333, forgiveness ends the dream of conflict here.